That's why this stuff is some bullshit. This is a story that people that have a loser's mindset, people that are broken and have a bad relationship with money, this is how they think. And I used to be this way. But then I smartened up and I realized that I'm in my own way. And the only difference between a loser and a winner is the real estate between your ears. What's good in the hood, everybody? It's your boy, Cody Sperber, the Clever Investor here, and today I want to talk to you about one of the biggest self-limiting beliefs that entrepreneurs, or I guess you would call them aspiring entrepreneurs, face. I'm going to shatter one of the biggest self-limiting beliefs that humans face. All right, now I got followers from all over the world. First off, you guys that have been following me for a long time, you know me. I'm a creative real estate investor. I've made tens of millions of dollars investing in real estate. My brands and my companies have gone off to sell, over $50 million worth of products and services online. I'm one of the largest online marketers out there, one of the biggest real estate educators in the world. And today I'm about to talk to you about some of the biggest self-limiting beliefs people have about money. All right, a lot of people follow me because they want to get rich. If you're watching this right now, there's a good possibility that you want to freaking win the money game. But the problem is we're not taught how to do that. So that's what this conversation is going to be about. By the way, real fast, if you get some value for this or from this, I highly recommend that you go to codysdealchallenge.com and you get involved with my 30 days to a deal challenge. If you want to learn creative real estate investing, that's how you do it for less than $100, right? It's codysdealchallenge.com and you'll learn all about what I'm doing and how I'm helping people do creative real estate. I'm about to shatter one of the biggest self-limiting beliefs. When I hear people say things like this, and I've had the opportunity to speak on stages all over the world, I've spoken in front of tens of thousands of people. When at the end of the event, when people come up and talk to me, and I start talking to them about, doing real estate and getting involved with real estate, they're always like, oh, I would love to do real estate, but I can't afford it. I don't have any money right now. Right? I don't have any money. It's too expensive. Oh, I'm totally going to invest in real estate someday. But right now, I'm broke. Right? I'm just a college kid. I'm just young. I don't have any available money. In fact, I'm barely surviving right now. The bills are stacking up. My back's against the wall. I'm screwed, actually, financially. I mean, I would love to do it, but I can't afford it. When I hear people talk like this, I instantly think, loser. You're a loser. What do you mean you can't afford it? What do you mean you don't have any money? What do you mean it's too expensive? What do you mean you're broke? You're acting like a loser right now. And I get so pissed off because I'm like, I used to think like this. I used to have this money mindset. But when I was broke, and I was living with my parents and I never had any money, I used to say this shit all the time. Well, guess what? Me and my wealthy buddies, we never talk like this. I don't know a single rich person that does, makes a lot of money that is constantly talking negative about money. People that are successful and have a good positive relationship with money, they don't talk like this. Now, let me give you an example. Real estate investing. Did you know there's a way to flip a house without needing any money in the deal? Like $0. Right? So imagine being able to go and flip a piece of real estate, make a profit, and not have to put a single dollar of your own money into the deal. Not having to go to a bank, not having to have good credit, not having to have a real estate license. You just can magically, creatively make it happen. Did you know you can even own rental property with $0 of your own money into the deal? I mean, think about this. My first rental property that I purchased, I put $0 into the deal. If you buy a house for $0 and that house produces cash flow, let me ask you something. What is your return on your investment? If you put $0 of your own dollars into the deal, and it produces you income, it produces you cash flow. What is your return on your investment? The answer is it's an infinite return. Now let me tell you a quick story. This is the story of my first rental property. My first rental was worth $280,000, right? But the homeowner was in foreclosure, right? He was in foreclosure, and he was behind on his mortgage payments. He was probably 30-something years old. And he said, yeah, I'm single, I fell behind, I lost my job, and then I just found another job, but I'm so far behind on my mortgage payments. He owed $15,000 in back payments, right? So like whenever a house goes to foreclosure here in the United States, you know, if they start missing mortgage payments, it just kind of accrues, and then there's late fees and penalties and attorney's fees and all this stuff that go on top of it. So we had about $15,000 in fees and penalties, right? And I said, well, what's the story with your house? And he said, I owe $90,000, right? I owe $90,000 to the bank. And the bank he had was B of A. Right? I owe $90,000 to the bank. My mortgage is, let's say, you know, $1,000 a month. PITI, that means principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. So all in, it was about $1,000 a month. You know, this is what I owe, but I've been behind on payments for like 8, 9, 10 months. My house is scheduled for foreclosure in a few months. What do I do? And I said, well, listen, what do you want to do? And he said, I want to move out. And I said, okay, well, what if you know, how much money do you want to sell the house for? And he said, I don't know. I don't really know what it's worth. But if I could get, right, this is what he wanted. If I can get $50,000 cash, plus you paid all this stuff off, I would sell the house right now. I just need 50 grand cash to go start my life over. I said, okay, all right, so I'm gonna pay you 50 grand cash, I'm gonna pay off this bank loan, and I'm gonna pay back the 15K. So all in all, I need like $165,000 plus closing costs and all this stuff. And the house needed some work, but I buy the house that's worth $280 for like $170-ish. You can go out there and raise the money. It's called OPM, other people's money. And you can go and raise the money needed to buy this asset. So what if I got creative? What if we left this in place? And I just didn't touch it. And I only needed to raise this portion right here, the 15K, and this portion right here, the 50K the guy needed. So I put together a plan. And I went back and I talked to this guy and I said, hey, let me ask you a quick question. If I pay off all the back payments on the mortgage, and I catch up your loan and I make it current, that's going to be good for your credit, right? And now the foreclosure will go away, your credit will start to get a little bit better. You're not going to have that nasty foreclosure on your credit, which by the way stays on your credit for at least 7 years. And I put $50,000 cash in your pocket. Would that be something that would work for you? And we left this loan in place for a year or two. And he said, yeah, I really don't care. As long as I get the 50K and it's stopping, you know, messing with my credit, sure, we could do that. So I took this deal, right? I took this deal and I went and I shopped it around town to find other people's money. I needed to borrow 50K in 15, so 65,000. So I devised another plan. I said, you know what? I don't have any money. I can't go to a bank. Nobody's going to loan me this money unless I have a good asset worth 180. So I started shopping the deal around town. I went to networking events. I talked to my parents. I talked to my parents' friends. I talked to friends of friends. I talked to friends of friends' parents. I talked to everybody. And my pitch was simple. Hey, I have a house that I could buy right now worth $280,000, where I could buy it for like $170, but I only need $50,000 and $15,000, so I need about $65,000 to get into the deal. If you loan me the $65,000, I will give you 100% of all the income that this property produces until I give you back your 65 grand. Right? So you get all the cash flow. Now, it only cost $1,000 a month, but the rent was like $1,500, right? Rent equals $1,500. So how much positive cash flow does the private money lender, the guy or girl I'm borrowing the money from, how much do they get? Well, if we owe $1,000, that's $500 a month in pure cash flow. Now, I don't know about you, but if you have $65,000 sitting in a bank, it is not earning you $500 a month. It's just not. So guess what I did next? I paid this off. I paid this guy his $50K. I left this in place. I paid this off. I paid the guy his $50K. Right? We kept this in place. And my private money lender got $500 a month. Everybody's happy. Then what I did is I put out little signs, right? Buy like rent. Sorry, my handwriting is horrible, but I put out signs all around the property. Buy like rent. Foreclosure okay. Right? What I want is $10,000 down as an option deposit, and the rent is $1,500 a month. And after talking to a couple people, one lady called me up and said, hey, me and my husband, we went through a foreclosure back in the day. We don't have the best credit. What does your sign mean? And it's like, well, you give me $10,000 and I'll give you the ability to buy a house worth $280,000 for $265,000. So it's a really good deal, right? I'll give you the ability to buy this house that's worth $280 for $265, and you'll have 1 year to execute the option to buy it for $265. Until then, you just rent it and you treat it like it's your own. Don't call me if there's any repairs. I don't want to deal with it. She said, okay, I love that deal. Let's do that deal. So what did I just put in my pocket? I just put in my pocket $10,000, right? I created that money out of thin air, but I still own the house. It's still in my name. So I get to depreciate it. I get the tax benefits. At the time, I got the mortgage interest deduction. I got all the benefits of owning this house. And I got $10,000 in my pocket. At the end of 1 year, she came to me and said, Cody, I can't afford to buy the house. I still haven't saved enough of a down payment. My credit's still kind of screwed up. Is there any way I can extend my option to buy it? I said, sure, no problem. I'm not trying to just take your $10,000. I'll give you a fair shot. I'll extend your option for 1 more year for an extra $3,000. So I just added $3,000 more into my pocket. And I said, I'm going to increase rent by $150. Guess what I did next? I have to cash this guy out because this guy wants his money back. So what I did next is I went to bank number 1. I went to bank number 1 and I said, I have this house, right? I got a house. It's worth $280K, and I've been renting it for a year for $1,500, and I just increased rents to $1,650. So I have some rental history, right? I owe $90K. That's the original loan that the guy let me take over making payments to. And I owe $65K to private money lender. What will you loan me on this house? And bank number 1 says, here's what I'll loan you, right? We'll do that deal. Here's the terms. And I said, okay. Oh, by the way, one more piece of information. The house actually increased in value. it's no longer worth $280K. When the bank went to appraise it, it was worth $320,000 now. So over that year period, the house increased in value. The bank said, sure, we'll lend you 80% of $320,000. What's 80% of $320,000? Because that's what the bank said they'd lend me. At the time it was like 5.5% interest or something like that. I said, okay, not a bad deal. And I took that piece of paper, that pre-approval letter, and I went across the street to bank number 2. And I said, bank number 1 gave me this pre-approval letter. Here's bank number 1 gave me a pre-approval. What will you do on this house worth $320, making $1,650 a month? So bank number 2 gave me an even better deal. They gave me, this might be like a 5.5% interest rate. Bank number 2 gave me a 5% interest rate. So I took that deal and I went down the street to bank number 3. And I said, this bank's giving me 5.5, this bank's giving me 5, what will you do? And they said, we'll give you 4.75 interest rate. I said, done deal. Done deal. And I refinanced, and I paid this off, and I paid this person off, who, by the way, came back around as soon as I paid him off and said, hey, I got this money back, go find another house, let's do it again. I was able to put a bunch of money in my pocket because they gave me 80% of this number. And that one little house that I put 0 of my own dollars in, I'm now making $1,650 a month. And guess what happened after the second year? She never executed the option. She came around and said, Cody, my second year is now up. What do you want to do? I think we want to move out. We don't want to buy the house. And I said, sure, no problem. She moved out. Guess what I did again? I put my little signs back out. Buy like rent. Right? Buy like rent. I got another $10,000 plus $1,700 a month in rent. So I increased it by 50 more bucks. I got another $10,000 option deposit. Did another 1-year option. That's creative real estate investment. That's why this stuff is some bullshit. This is a story that people that have a loser's mindset, people that are broken and have a bad relationship with money, this is how they think. And I used to be this way. But then I smartened up and I realized that I'm in my own way. And the only difference between a loser and a winner is the real estate between your ears. And that's all I got. Until next time, I'm Cody Sperber, the Clever Investor. Sign off for now. Take care. Comb your hair. Sperber out.